You did it.
Get it?
You just bought this house.
Kabish. So it's nice enough to cut original furnitures here.
今回ピザさんに売却ってことになっちゃったんですけど、
やはり今回は契約書の説明は間に松尾さんが立っていただいたので、そこは非常にスムーズだった。
Look at that. What's going on, Akiya Hunters? Welcome back to my channel. Today I have a very exciting special episode for you. I am in the car driving to Mount Fuji, and to my right I got none other than Mr. Peter Chung from Hong Kong. What's going on, Peter?
Good morning, everyone. How are you?
Thanks for being on my show today, on my channel. Super excited to have you. So where are we driving today?
Actually, we are driving to Fujigan in the Mount Fuji area.
Yeah.
It's right between Lake Kawakuji and Lake Yamanakako. It's right in the middle, that spot up on the plateau, about 1,100 feet elevation.
Why are we going there right now?
Going for my contract days.
Your
And
contract day. Wait,
contract days.
For what?
Very much anticipated. Both parties been agree on the price in terms for almost a month. And the seller was so nice enough to tell me, yeah, we can wait for you another 2 months before you come over face to face for the final. So we can do closing and contract on the same day. But I was like, no deposit, no contract, nothing is secure, right? I want to make sure that both the seller and myself are secure and for the transaction. So coming back here after waited another 3 weeks before the last visit. So going for closing today.
Wow, that's right. So Peter about to purchase a Akiya.
Akiya.
Can we call it an
Yeah,
Akiya? Yeah,
technically
it's
it's an
technically
Akiya.
empty. It's renovated. It's a beautiful house. And we're entering the tunnel. So lighting is going to be a little bit poor, but don't mind us. And today is the contract day. So he's going to be signing some agreements, contracts, paying the earnest money so that it's going to be pretty much official. And closing dates in a couple weeks, right?
In about 2.5 weeks.
2.5 weeks. Awesome. So I have, so many questions. I'm so excited about your purchase, and I'm so excited to see the property today. So you are from Hong Kong, and you just flew in a couple days ago. And can you tell the audience a little bit about yourself? What do you do, and why did you decide to buy a house in Japan?
So I spent the last 23 years in corporate America, going to various places, like I think a couple years in the US, spent another 4 years with the same company in Canada, got an opportunity to spend 10 years with a company in Shanghai, China, and then last 4 years with the company was out of Hong Kong. So having explored these places, my wife and I do a lot of traveling in the region. So one of the reasons we decided to purchase this property in Japan is we start looking at our passports, and this is the country where we find most of the entry stamps. I think maximum we visited Japan about 10 times per year, pre-pandemics, and I think post-pandemics, I think last year, 2023, we visited the country about 7 times. So we definitely have the passion and the love for the culture and the people here in Japan. And that's one of the major reasons.
And you're an avid real estate investor, right? So you have another property in Tokyo.
Oh my God,
also,
is that a total Mount Fuji
wait,
over there?
Wait. Yeah, we
oh
gotta
my
pause.
God.
Let's take a look. Look at that. I'm gonna zoom in. Boom. That's Fuji-san right there. Mount Fuji. And we're going up there. Wait for us, Fuji.
And it's a very clear skies. I think that there are many myths about Mount Fuji. It's always shy, it's always cloudy, and today definitely is a clear sky.
Yeah,
That's
we
a
got
good
lucky
start.
because it was kind of raining in Yokohama.
Last night was raining as well.
Okay, so let's go back to your real estate investing journey. You've already owned a property in Tokyo, heart of Tokyo.
In
right?
Isazuba.
So this would be your second property in Japan.
Correct.
Yeah, and also you invest in other countries as well. Where do you own your properties, if you don't mind me asking?
We have some in the early days. We have some in Shanghai because I worked in Shanghai for 10 years. We have some in UK because that's where my wife has a passion for the country as well. And then we have some brought through agencies out of Toronto. We do have some in Hong Kong as well. We slowly purchasing properties in inside of Hong Kong as well. So I think that's pretty much sum up all the properties we have.
Wow, that is impressive.
And some in Seattle as well, because that's where my parents live.
All right, so like Canada, US, the UK, Hong Kong, Japan. Okay, that's a lot of countries. Impressive. And this is going to be your newest purchase in Yamanashi-ken near Fuji. The property that you own in Tokyo, that's a rental property, right?
Correct.
And this new property that you're going to purchase is going to be your personal use.
Correct.
Yeah, and why Fuji? It could be anywhere in Japan, right? Japan is huge, but why did you decide to buy something near Mount Fuji?
So the train of thought was I wanted to start looking at family home or family vacation homes, and I don't want to limit myself in any particular country in specific. So I start looking at the map, and where we're looking at about 4 to 5 hours travel distance from Hong Kong, primarily English speaking. So at least some people there can speak a little English, so I can communicate at least. And with a stable political environment, we're not going to be looking at a war zone, right? We're a country with stable GDPs and currency. Time and time again, I think Japan just topped that chart for us. Then we start looking at the places that we've been visiting for the last couple of years out of Tokyo. It was Gunma
Yeah.
prefectures. We're looking at Itsu, the Itsu Peninsula,
Yeah.
a lot of the onsen districts, and then there is Kamakura, as well as Kawakuchiko and Yamanakako. Whenever we go glamping or camping or even stay in the onsen districts in Lake Kawakuchi, there's just one place we always want to enjoy. And one place we always enjoy is Mount Fuji side, right? You will drive to Fujioshi just to view Mount Fuji. So, and when we look at top scenic sites of Japan, we have Tokyo Towers, we have Mount Fuji, and we have the Imperial Palace. So Mount Fuji definitely topped the list.
I've been there many times. Like those lakes, I love. It's pretty close to Yokohama, even Tokyo. It's a couple hour drive. It's a nice little getaway, and then you could continue to drive either up north or maybe even like further down to like Nagoya or even that side. I think it's a really cool area to have a vacation home.
And from interviewing some of the local agents, and I think the local Japanese really taking this, they are 40 years ahead of us, right? Mount Fuji has always been a destination for vacation homes, for mountain villas. So this is nothing new to the locals. Matter of fact, during the pandemic time, a lot of the villas are being snapped up by the locals. So that actually results in my search for a home in Mount Fuji difficult. Difficult in the sense of finding the right amount of homes to pick from and good quality home as well.
So this is your second time purchasing a property in Japan, but can you paint the picture for the audience who want to know more about what the purchase process looks like for real estate in Japan as a non-resident? So walk us through, what did you have to do to get to today, contract day, which is one of the most important, maybe the most important day?
I think a lot of, in terms of process goes, you'll be getting a lot of helps from people that you work with, throughout this journey. I certainly did, not only on this property, but other properties in Japan as well. Your agents, Suzanne, as well as some of the local agents, they are more than willing to help. And even the seller himself or herself as well. You're not going to be out, on your own for sure or for certain. Now, buying properties in Japan is, honestly, is no difference from buying from any other developed countries. And that's the one thing we love about Japan. The currency is stable enough where it's predictable. The laws are very stable, where it's not going to be changes all the time. Everything's very transparent, and also predictability, right? Manageability. You have all those up fronts. People who works in this industry or who work with you will let you know enough time for what's ahead. You got timelines, so everything is managed. No surprises. I hope that helps.
And how many times did you come to Japan in order to, find the property that you actually wanted to buy? because I know you came here multiple times before this and looked at other properties, but can you paint the picture for the audience as well?
Following Matsusan's course, right? Obviously, I spent a lot of time online. Like I mentioned earlier, Fuji area was one of the most sought after from the locals. So from an online perspective, I probably scanned through only about 50 to 60 plus properties only. But a lot of them were not in a state of readiness. So my wife and I were looking at properties that are recently renovated. So we can start enjoying the properties, almost like ASAP. Matter of fact, my wife and I are going to be coming back here towards the end of this month to start enjoying Easter's. Should I use Easter?
Sure.
Because I don't know when this video is going to be coming out.
I mean, by the time this airs, you'd probably be here enjoying the property.
Both my wife and I were looking at properties where we can start enjoying almost instantly after buying it. So we were looking at older properties in Akiya where recently renovated, and I can tell you it's very difficult for the specific area that I'm looking at. Second, we want to make sure that it's a clean title. Also, it's a land ownership, because in the Fuji area, developed area, we have a lot of managed villa that got a leasehold lands. So this might get a little bit complicated, but with a leasehold, I mean, from Matsusan's class, you're gonna find out that there's always uncertainties, right? I don't want to be paying $100 to lease the land for 10 years, and then it's gonna be $200 for the next contract. So, and having a piece of land is always American dream, isn't it?
Sure.
Well, yeah. Japan's dream.
So Peter, we're
Hi,
super
everyone.
close to getting to your property now. I think we're 10 minutes away, starting to see a lot more snow, as you can see. Today's March 1st, and we still got a lot of snow up here. And the temperature just dropped to 4 degrees outside. It was like 12 earlier, as in like until 10 minutes ago. So I can tell that we're getting close. So before we get there, can you quickly tell us what we're expecting to see from your property?
So we expect to see a 40 years old Akiya in a managed villa, one of the better managed villa in the regions. Got 2 plots of land, total of 11,000 square footage. The house is about 750 square footage, and it was recently renovated in September of 2021. Beautifully landscaped and with Mount Fuji right in your backyard. Looking at Mount Fuji right in the backyard, and I think that's the number one reason why we look at it.
Yeah, I mean, we saw Mount Fuji right there. So just above these trees, just behind these trees, there's Mount Fuji right there. And I'm sure we're gonna get to see it very, very soon. Let's talk about how you decided on this one. So before doing some walkthroughs, you looked at about 60 properties online, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and you narrowed down to several, and you ended up seeing like 8 in person. You actually came to Japan and saw those properties. But walk me through that whole process and why you decided on, those properties and eventually this one.
One of the general challenges with vacation homes, traditional vacation homes in Japan during the last few years was that the domestic market have picked up on buying vacation homes during the pandemics, because people want distance, right? And people find their sense of safety in these areas. And again, the work from home policy is pretty much global during the pandemics. So a lot of the local Japanese have bought up a lot of the inventories during the last few years. And because of that, what's available today, very limited. I think online, pretty much I find inventories probably less than 60s, and with probably less than 10 to 15 with views of Mount Fuji right in the front, and about 20 plus 30 with like either Lake Kawakuchi or Lake Yamanakako view from the properties. So when I look at the view properties, it was very, very limited. And by the time I came in thinking I was going to make an offer, actually, too small.
Sorry to cut you off. Look at that.
Oh my God.
All right, can you see this? That was such a beautiful shot of Mount Fuji. Here it comes, here it comes. Look at that. There is Fujisan. And this turn, we get to see it. Whoa. Okay, sorry. We'll get to see more of it once we get there.
So having this set of criteria that I was looking at, we thought we were going to make a during our initial communications, I was pretty certain to Sue that that was the first property that I was going to buy in the beginning of February, I believe. But during the face-to-face visit, it was not as good as I thought, or it didn't fit the criteria. It was either too small, the house was too small, or the land was too small to be a family vacation homes. So we looked further, find another one, beautiful 3-story with beautiful Lake Yamanakako view, and with a distant view of Mount Fuji. We try to secure a deal with the agents with some contingency on some renovations. Unfortunately, the agent did not come back with a proposal, so we got almost a mutual understanding that the cost is going to be a lot more than we expected it. So we gave up on that. We continued the search. I have seen this property before earlier, but it was out of my budget because initially I was asking for about 20 million, and I believe the agent have since then lowered the price, believe twice. The last asking price was about 12.8. It was just too good to pass on the deal like that. So I think it was in the same month I flew back about 2.5 weeks later. With Sue's help, we managed a viewing, and a contract was done right pretty much at the spot for the affidavits. I purposely looked at 2 properties during my second visit. One that was beautiful on pictures, but I know pretty much it's not going to fit my criteria. I look at it, and sure enough, it weren't as good as I thought. So when I look at this property, we just made a decision right away. And again, I don't know if Sue remembers, when we first contacted, this was supposed to be a... Hold on a second. Oh my God. I need to take a picture.
No, go for it. Oh.
I'll take a picture of that for
Anyway, we thought the pricing was great after the walkthrough. But what you did really well was taking notes of what was going right about the property, which was good, which helped you make the decision, but also made a list of some concerns, right? Minor things that needed to be fixed. And, we brought that up to the seller and see what they could do. And that further pushed the price down actually to 12 million. So we were able to save 800,000 yen by negotiating. So I thought that was awesome, and yeah, I'm so happy that you got such an amazing deal.
I think the whole set of course online was very helpful, because I'm not investors per se, but using it for rental purposes or for passive income purposes. I've gone for about a good 70 to 80%, almost 80% of the content, and studying the tactics, the strategies, and learning the Japanese way of negotiating. It was not just how much the sellers willing to sell or how much the buyers willing to buy, but rather with a whole rationales behind it. It was a new learning, and not only going to help me this time, but it's definitely going to help me in other areas as well. I don't know if I mentioned I bought a used boat from Japan a couple years back from a small little town called Obama, but I wish I could have learned that skill too back then.
All right, well, you heard it from Peter. If you haven't taken it, make sure you take that online course and you learn how to effectively negotiate during the purchase process. Yeah, I think we're there, just 1 minute away. So let's take a look at this property. Okay, we'll come back with the final frame of this view. You did it.
Did it?
You just bought this house.
Kabish.
First of all, can I just mention this? This is...
who wouldn't know this, right? One of the most iconic symbol of Japan, Mount Fuji.
This is incredible, this view. I mean, it's hard to tell by the camera. It's literally right there. So let me just zoom it in. It's like how close that is and how beautiful that is. Oh my goodness. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that smile. Okay, so let's let's go take a look at your house, huh?
All right, well,
Can you give us a tour? Yeah?
absolutely. Come on
Okay,
in.
this is it.
So this is, I guess that's my address.
Yeah,
I wouldn't be able to tell, but
yeah. That's
Come
the
on in.
previous owners.
Oh, really?
I guess still current owner.
okay.
Because you just signed paper, so it's about to be yours very soon.
One of the things that I've noticed is there are a lot of villa properties in the Mount Fuji area
Yeah.
wouldn't have a proper parking lot.
Right.
But this property actually does. Here, why don't we come in the front? Come on in.
Okay. So Peter just signed contracts. So there's a lot of people
Still?
helping to make this happen. And the sellers actually were here as well.
We got people from the villa, from the mansion villa,
Yeah.
helping to turn off,
Water, right?
winterize
Yeah,
the home.
winterize the home.
To winterize the home.
It is very cold here. It's March, but
We,
still,
we got almost a brand new
I know, seriously.
washing
And
machines
the
over there as well.
sellers, they will leave all that stuff. Yeah, and then they just renovated this whole house 2 years ago, right?
2021,
Yeah,
September.
and they only lived here for less than 3 years.
This is one of our bedrooms, looking over to Mount Fuji as well,
Yeah.
and our neighbors. It's a small 750 square footage home. This is our main living room here.
Yeah.
The
This is the main
seller is actually-
bedroom, I think.
The seller is actually getting his personal property ready to move out of here.
Can you
This
show
is a-
me how to use that?
This is for lazy man like me.
Yeah?
It's an electric shutter.
Yeah.
So when we're ready to say goodbye to Mount Fuji,
That's
because
so
we'll be
cool.
using it as a vacation home.
Right.
So in order to winterize the home while we're not here,
Yeah.
this actually provides a very good protections
Okay.
for
Yeah.
both windstorm, snowstorm, and typhoon as well. So you notice the shutter is electric, and actually it does have electric shutters throughout the entire property.
Wow. That's awesome. So in the winter time, it keeps the place warm, but in the
Absolutely.
summertime, it keeps the bugs out. It gives you privacy, but it's got wind coming in. You can put the screen door, and then the wind still can't come in, right?
And this was actually a gem when we found it, because not only have the electric shutter, but also has double painted window as well. The whole bottom of the house are insulated. You got cedar hardwood floor, and it got cedar wood panels throughout the property, as well as the ceiling as well. So very little minimal maintenance required per se.
Great.
Let's come on in.
Okay.
The seller is nice enough to cut all the furnitures, original furnitures here,
Yeah.
so we can continue to enjoy them for many years to come. We got a mid-sized system kitchen here.
Yeah.
This was the contract day for the property. Peter sat down with the seller and the real estate agent to go over Juyo Jiko Setsumeisho, or important list of items, together before signing the contract. This document must be read by a licensed agent in person to the buyer. The agent did not speak English, so I was there to translate for Peter. This part took about 90 minutes. It took longer time than normal because there was an English translation involved, but this usually takes about an hour. And after this, we moved on to the actual contract signing. Both the seller and Peter signed 2 copies of the contract to make this real estate transaction official.
You just signed the paper. This property is going to be Peter's. And it comes with this view. Look at that. This will never get old. What a beauty. 今、契約が終わったということですが、今回、外国香港の方のね、ピーターさんにこちらの物件をお売りになられたということで、いかがでしたか？結構私の体験では、外国の方に売るときはいろいろ違ったところがあるので、敬遠する方もいらっしゃるんですよ、正直。はい。いかがでしたか、今回？
いや不動産の売買はね何とかありますけど、もちろん外国人の方初めてでしてね、外国行ったり来たりしたりあったんで、あまり外国の方だというような変わってるというのは特に感じなかったですから、英語と日本語と通訳を交えてということだけがちょっと時間がかかるというだけで、特に問題はありませんでした。はい。
そうですね、私たちも少し前になりますけど海外に住んだことがあるので、何か海外の人だからどうのこうのっていうのはそこまでなかったですね。向こうでちょっとお世話になったっていう気持ちもあるので、 逆に海外の人がここに来て喜んでくれたらいいのかなって思いました。
あと数週間で、2週間ほどですかね、こちらのお家を引き継がれるということですが、どういった思いですか今？
ここは私なんかも、非常にいい場所で、残念ながらあまり来る機会がなかったんで、今回ピザさんに売却ってことになっちゃったんですけど、日本に来るのが限られた日数でしょうけども、あんまりねすごい綺麗な物件とは言えないかもわかんないですけど、いっぱい直してありますんで楽しんでください。
Enjoy, you know.
Beautiful house.
With Uncle Manfu.
Uncle Manfu.
Thank you.
Okay. ありがとうございました。
今まで外国の方と取引されたこと何度かございますか？
私はそんなに多くはないんですね。
はい、
で一度前回もそうだったんですけど、その時はアメリカ人の方と、で英語でやり取りはしてたんですけどメールで、
はい、
契約は日本人の社員の方が来たので、
はい、
契約は日本語だったんですよね。
はい
はい、やはり今回は契約書の説明は間に松尾さんが立っていただいたので、そこは非常にスムーズだった。多少のコミュニケーションできてもやっぱり齟齬が生じるような難しい用語の説明とか、
はい、
複雑な説明っていうのはちょっと自信がないので、そこに関してはプロの英語ができる方で不動産に詳しい方が入っていただいてるっていうのがすごく安心できたポイントでした。
ありがとうございます。私もそうですね、外国の方、日本で物件を買いたいっていう方を、お助けする役割なんですが、すごくやっぱり興味持ってる方多くて、日本語が喋れないからとか、ちょっと日本の文化が少し自信がないからっていう方がすごく多いんですけど、何かそういった方にアドバイスございますか？
やっぱり語学の壁がすごく大きいので、多分日本は、文化の壁も大きいと思うんですけど、日本語ができる方だとか日本に馴染みの深い方が、間に入らないとちょっとトラブルにはなりやすいかなっていうのは正直なところですね。なんで、松尾さんみたいな方にお願いするとか、私どもの会社もやっぱりほとんどの取引は日本人なので、外国の方が増えてくるっていうことを対応できればいいんですけども、なかなか手が回らないところがあるので、やっぱりそういう不動産が分かって通訳ができる方がいるか、もしくはお友達ですごく通訳間に入ってくれる方がいないと、不動産会社によっては敬遠されることがかなりあるんじゃないかなとは思います。
東久保さんもすごく英語がお上手なので、おそらくこのビデオ私が発信したら、他にこういった富士山が見える物件をどういうふうに連絡すればよろしいですか？うちの
会社は、E メールかお電話で受け付けておりますので、E メールでしたら多分私が対応させていただきます。
何か告知したいこととかございますか？ぜひ。
そうですね、日本マウントは関東近郊の関東エリアのリゾート物件を多数扱っておりますので、もしご興味がありまし、たらぜひお問い合わせください。
本日は本当にありがとうございました。
ありがとうございました。
よろしくお願いいたします。
Come on out. And I think this is the highlight. You got a small deck. I call it small because it's visually probably looks about 150 square footage, but I think it's good enough while we can enjoy a sip of coffee or red wine and looking at one of the most iconic
Look at this.
symbol of
Seriously.
Japan.
This is so cool. I can't believe it. How close it is.
I would consider we're lucky. Stumble into this property, having two lots together, and we have a total of 11,000 square footage.
Okay. So that's like 1,200 square meters, right?
Almost 1,200
Yeah.
square meters. Yes, correct.
So this is the plots of land. This is all yours.
Yeah. So technically,
Yeah.
I can build other properties
Right.
on the second lot.
Yeah.
But I think what we might do is to probably set up a camp so we can enjoy during the summertime. I mean, after all, we want to enjoy and look at Mount Fuji during the fall season of the year, right?
Yeah.
So in the summertime, we probably want to spend a little bit of time outdoor and do some camping out here.
Yeah, and then you have the village has a property management.
It's one of the better managed,
Yeah.
villa managed property management company in the region. I mean, as you can tell, they're here helping us to shut off the water for LPG top up, for septic tanks, for electricities. If we needed them here for any other repairs, they're always here.
Hey, when you're not using it, can I come and use it?
I will have a tea box right outside. I will have a picnic trail.
Yeah, this is so cool. I love it. Yeah, the summer it must be really like nice and cool. I bet.
And I think geographically, we are right in the middle between Lake Kawakuchiko and Lake Yamanakako. Both, are very nice, pleasant places to go visit, and got lots of great, world-class restaurants as well. So we can enjoy both the traditional Japanese cuisine as well as Western cuisine.
That's wonderful.